Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Happy Mind, Happy Life podcast, where we take a few minutes each week to pause, breathe, reflect, and connect about how we can create more peace, more joy, and more calm in our everyday life. I'm your host, Michelle Werdeman, and I am so grateful you decided to hit play today. What is happening, my friends? Welcome back to the Happy Mind, Happy Life podcast. I am super excited for you to be here today. Today's going to be a quick one. I actually have been working on a follow-up to an episode I put out just a few weeks ago about subconsciously blocking what you really want. And my hope was to have the follow-up to that because it resonated with so many of you. I got so many really cool messages. So thank you if you were one of those people that sent me one. But yeah, I got hit with a respiratory virus that legit knocked me on my ass for a good 10 days. Like, I thought I was starting to feel normal around like day 7. But then I was reminded by my body when I tried to go about my busyness of life that, yeah, my body was not done resting. So this has actually come up, this topic of resting, with quite a few people lately, and I'm in the middle of reading this book called The Pivot Year. It's 365 Days to Become the Person You Truly Want to Be, and it's by Brianna Wiest, I think is how you pronounce her last name. And this is just a little excerpt from the back of the book, and it says, "This is the year you change your life. If you're in a pivot period, if you're still bridging the space between where you are and where you want to be, remember that the person you're becoming is already within you. This journey is convincing your mind to act consistently on what your heart already knows it wants to do." Doesn't that sound so good? I can't wait to get through this book. I'm only on day 16, but every day, so there's 365 days, and it just has like a paragraph or two of something to read and sit with. And I find that when I open it, like this book, it's the exact message that I need to hear. And I want to read you the message from day 16. It says, "You may fear the quiet times in your life when your soul goes through a winter. However, it's often those same times when the most profound and human work of all is being completed. Be still, do nothing. It is both the quiet and the noise that writes the symphony, the blank canvas and the paint that makes the picture, and the rest and the movement that gives you the wisdom, insight, and clarity to press forward more boldly than ever before." And I read that, and I'm like, wow, it's such, and I've talked about this actually kind of a lot lately, maybe towards like the end of December in some of my episodes, just the power in the pause. Like, so many times I remember thinking, like, I was so busy that it almost was like a badge of success. Like, if I was busy, that meant I was successful. And that might sound really silly, but I think that might resonate with a lot of people. And it wasn't until, I don't know, just the last maybe year and a half or so that I truly found so much power in taking a pause. And I've been practicing that actively, I would say, yeah, probably about a year and a half now. The latest was this summer. Well, actually, the latest was being knocked on my ass with this virus. But this past summer, I took a few weeks off from my tranquility center. And it had dawned on me, I hadn't taken more than a week off during summer vacation for my kids. But I hadn't taken a week off of summer, more than a week off in summer, since I was in like high school. I am now going to be 48. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, that's a long time. And because, yeah, even my maternity leaves, they were not in the summertime. But regardless, it was just kind of like eye-opening that I found myself getting stressed out with the center and just things weren't energetically lining up. And I realized not everybody has the ability to just say, you know what, I'm going to take 3 weeks off. I get that. But when you can find time to just, and it doesn't have to be taking off of work, just something like just pausing or taking a break from something. There's so much power in that. So for me, when I did that this summer with the center, I just took a break. I still saw clients virtually and I coached and stuff, but I needed a break from that place. And it was because I found that it was creating stress in my life. So I was showing up for the center coming from a stressful place. And that's not where magic happens. Like, it doesn't come out of stressful situations. It comes out of light, new energy. And yeah. So anyway, when I was able to do that and take a step back and remove that stressor in my life, that's when I got a lot of clarity around what I wanted to create within the center. And when I went back the beginning of September, I can't even tell you how much that business blossomed. And it wouldn't have if I didn't take that time out to pause and just take a break. And this came up, I would say it was probably about 2 weeks ago. And I was talking to a woman, and she's been trying to let go of some extra weight that she says she's carrying. And she's like, I have been trying for years. I've tried keto. I've tried no carb, low carb, no sugar, no dairy, no gluten, all of the stuff. And she follows all these different people on social media. And I said to her, I was like, what if you, now, I don't, to each his own with what they want to weigh. But I was like, what if you just took a pause from trying all of these different things and allow your stress levels around your weight just for a couple of weeks or a month, and just allow your stress levels around constantly trying to fix this problem, in her words, not mine. And part of her was like, well, that's scary because I still want to lose the weight. But I'm like, that's fine. But what if you just took a pause or a break around trying all of these things that you're seeing online and listening to these people, because you're coming at this situation from a very stressful standpoint and you're putting stress on your body. And like I just said, the magic doesn't happen from a stressful place. It happens when you're calm, you have a fresh new insight or like energy. And that can't happen if you're constantly go, go, go. Right? Can you guys relate to this in some aspect of your life? Because I promise, if there's an area of your life that just feels very stressful, ask yourself, how can you take a break from that particular thing? And again, it doesn't have to look like my break where it was 3 weeks away from the center, but how can you just take a break from a situation in your life that is giving you a lot of stress? Because I promise, if you can take and make it a point to pause for a bit of time in that area, you will approach it from a much calmer, clearer point of view when your break is over. And yeah, I can't emphasize that enough, that there's so much power in that pause, in that steadiness, that you'd be amazed. So Tune in next week. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe to the podcast so you are notified as soon as my follow-up episode comes out. And again, if you haven't listened to the first episode, it was just a few weeks ago. It was, are you subconsciously blocking what you really want? Because if you haven't listened to it, it really, really resonated with a lot of people, because a lot of times we are so determined to create an outcome that we're actually blocking ourselves from creating that outcome. So I'm going to dive more into that in this second episode. So that will come out next week when I've had a chance to get myself back in line. I don't know when my voice is it's almost been 2 weeks. I don't know when my voice is going to get back to normal, but whatever, who cares? But yeah, so whenever you're listening to this, I hope you are having a fabulous day. Make sure to subscribe. Keep an eye out for next week's episode, and I will see you then. Cheers, my friends. Have a great day. Thank you so much for listening to the Happy Mind, Happy Life podcast. If today's episode inspired you, please share it with a friend or someone who you think could use a little extra calm and joy today. And to stay connected, follow me on Instagram at MBW Living or visit mbwliving.com. And remember, a happy mind truly creates a happy life. Cheers.